Hello everyone. Today's topic is ranitidine and in reagents ranitidine and TMSCl, that is trimethyl silyl chloride. So moving on to contents. In contents, what we are studying is introduction, preparation and applications. Here mechanism we are not studying. In individual applications you are having the mechanism. So moving on to ranitidine. In the ranitidine, in introduction part, what do you mean by ranitidine? How it has been come? Like ranitidine has been come from the American engineer, that is Murray Rani. He used for the hydrogenation of the vegetable oils, and it is the active form of the nickel. Okay, it is present in the organic chemistry. This reaction is basically, this reagent is used for the hydrogenation of reactions. And here what happens here is, it is also called as, this ranitidine is also called as the spongy nickel, which is the fine grained solid compound, and it has come from the nickel aluminum alloy, which I will show you in the preparation. Moving on to, so in the preparation and applications, moving on to preparation, here you are taking the nickel aluminum alloy in the 1:1 ratio, and if you will treat it with the base in the aqueous medium, what happens here is, you will get sodium aluminum oxide plus ranitidine with the hydrogen molecule. So this ranitidine, I have said you earlier that it is a black spongy metal powder. It is having with the weak NiH, that is your ranitidine. It is having the NiH bond, hydrogen which is bound to the surface of the catalyst. Okay, so moving on to application. In the first application, you are having the reduction of CC carbon-carbon multiple bonds. So what happens here is, in the carbon-carbon multiple bond means you can take either an alkenes or alkynes, etc. So here if you will take the alkene, that is your ethene molecule, if you will take it, and then if you will treat it with the ranitidine at room temperature, what happens? One bond gets substituted with the hydrogen atom. One bond is getting reduced. Okay, so reduction is nothing but it is the addition of the hydrogen molecule. So one bond is getting reduced by the addition of hydrogen molecule. Okay, one hydrogen from here and one hydrogen is coming and attacking over here, resulting you in your ethane molecule, that is your alkene. So if you will take the alkyne, at that time what happens? If you will treat it with the ranitidine at room temperature, two bonds are getting reduced by the addition of the 4 of the hydrogen molecules. Okay, with the one bond, your one bond gets reduces by the addition of the 2 of the hydrogen atom. One more bond gets reduces by the addition of the more 2 hydrogen bonds, that is your taking the alkyne, and then you are resulting again with an alkane. And then if you will take the aromatic compound such as benzene, at that time if you will treat it with the ranitidine at room temperature, all the double bonds gets reduced and then resulting you in the cyclohexane. Okay, alkene, that is your benzene ring, gets reduced to cyclohexane by the addition of your hydrogen atoms. And then if you will take the naphthalene molecule, there are two conditions. One is at room temperature, if you will add ranitidine, what happens? And then in the second condition, if you will treat it with the ranitidine at 200 to 300 atmospheric pressure, what happens? So if you will take the naphthalene and then if you will treat it with the ranitidine, at that time only these two bonds of one of the benzene ring gets reduced to form an tetraene. And then if we will undergo with this condition, that is to under 200 to 300 atmospheric pressure, all the double bonds gets reduced to form a decalene as your product. Moving on to next slide, if you will see, there is the reduction of nitriles and then reduction of halides. In the reduction of nitriles, again you are having the two conditions, if you will see. Okay, so here you are taking the benzene nitriles. Okay, in the presence of the nickel hydrogen, that is your ranitidine, upon the sodium hydrogen, sodium hypophosphate, it in the pyridine medium, that is your base medium, in the acetic acid, in the presence of acetic acid, what happens here is this nitrile group gets reduced to the aldehyde. In this mechanism, what happens here is, if you will see the nitriles, how it is getting reduced to the aldehydes is, first you have to take the nitriles, okay, the nitrogen which is having the lone pair of electrons, that has to go and treat it with the any of your this nickel hydrogen where it has come, right, that is your aluminium alloy, nickel aluminium alloy. With that structure, when it goes and attacks, and that mechanism it follows by the pyridinium and the acetic acid in the formation of that thing, once it will go and attack over there, at that time will result in the aldehyde formation. Okay, that mechanism is not necessary, so I have not given over here. And then in the coming to the next point, if you will treat the nitriles in the presence of nickel upon the Rann nickel at pressure, under the pressure, first there is a formation of the primary amines. Okay, what happens here is RC triple bond N is there, right? So one molecule of your Rann nickel will reduce one bond of your C triple bond N. One bond of your nitrile groups gets reduced by the attack of the two of the hydrogen bonds. One is for your C and then one is for your nitrogen. Once you will get RCH double bond NH, at that time again you are adding one more molecule of your Rann nickel, and then what happens, one more bond gets reduces by the addition of your hydrogen molecule, resulting you in the primary amines. Okay, and then moving on to reduction of halides, here what happens, ARX, that is if you will take the chlorobenzene, okay, or bromobenzene or fluorobenzene or anything else, X will vary with the whatever the halides you have attached. In the presence of the base upon Rann nickel, what happens, this X will gets replaced by the hydrogen atom, that is your aromatic hydrocarbons. Moving on to next slide, that is your desulfurization. Desulfurization is nothing but it is the removal of the sulfur group. Okay, so here what happens here is, in the desulfurization, there are thioalcohols, thioethers, disulfides, thioamides, sulfoxides and sulfones are getting desulfurized. There are certain examples of this which are getting desulfurized, okay, by the hydrogenolysis procedure in the presence of your Rann nickel. So what happens here? What is your hydrogenolysis? Here I am explaining you with the help of one reaction. So here if you will take the CX bond and then hydrogen molecule, what happens here is, the C bond, the C carbon atom will go and attack to the hydrogen atom, and then this hydrogen will take the halide. So there is a formation of the CH with the elimination of HX, hydrogen halide. Okay, and then moving on to first point, if you will see, RS R dash, that is your thioethers. Okay, if you will take the thioethers and then if you will treat it with the Rann nickel, at that time what happens, one of the hydrogen atom goes and attached to the alkyl group. This R group will vary with respect to your alkyl groups. Okay, it can be any of the substances like ethyl, methyl, propyl, butyl, etc. So if you are taking this one Rann nickel, at that time what happens, these bonds are getting broken up. Okay, that is desulfurization reaction, that the removal of the sulfur atoms. So there is the addition of one of the hydrogen atom over here, and then two of the hydrogen atoms over here and one over here. Okay, and then again if you will come to the thioamide, at that time what happens, again there is a removal of the sulfur group over here. So what happens here is, there is addition of the two of the hydrogen molecule, and then with the liberation of H2S gas you are getting this amides. Okay, thioamides to amide. And then moving on to thiophenes, what happens here is, in the thiophenes, here if you will add the Rann nickel catalyst, at that time first the bonds gets reduced. Once the bonds gets reduced, after that again upon addition of the Rann nickel, there is the ring opening desulfurization reaction taking place. Once it gets desulfurized, at that time what happens, this will lead to the formation of RCH2, CH2, CH, RCH2 4 times R dash plus and H2S gas. The next reagent is trimethyl silyl chloride. So in the trimethyl silyl chloride, it is also known as chlorotrimethyl which is an organosilicon compounds, that is your OMC compounds. Okay, so this OMC compounds, that is your organometallic compounds, that organosilicons is acting as an organometallic compound that will have the silyl halides in it. So this has the general formula as Me3SiCl, or it can also be said as TMSCl in general. So it is in colorless volatile liquid which is stable in the absence of water. So here you have to remember, it is in the absence of water. It is used in the organic chemistry. Okay, so here if you will see the silicon and the carbon bond, here silicon is acting as, it is having the partially positive charge and carbon is having the partially negative charge. Why silicon is having the partially positive charge is, it has the low electronegativity of 1.8 and the carbon is having 2.5 as its electronegativity, and together it forms a polar bond. So because of that polarity in nature, it is susceptible in nature for the formation of certain products in the reactions. Moving on to preparation and the application part. In the preparation, what happens here is, you have to take the silyl chloride and then you have to treat it with the Grignard reagent. Okay, so if you will treat it with the methyl magnesium chloride, at that time what happens here is, you are resulting in the TMSCl. And then moving on to application, you are having the dealkylation reaction. What do you mean by dealkylation reaction? The word D is only says that it is the removal of the alkyl groups in the reactions. When it is attached with the some of the functional groups, you are removing that respective alkyl substituents. Okay, so for example, if you will take the ethers or epoxides or and so on molecules. So in the first thing, in the first point you are taking the ethers, that is your ROR dash, and then if you will treat it with the TMSCl, that is trimethyl silyl chloride, at that time what happens, the oxygen atom in the ether molecule is having the lone pair of electrons. Once it goes and attack to the silicon atom, at that time what happens, it will form one complex structure. Okay, it will form like a salt, and then once this is formed, at that time once this adduct is formed, at that time what happens here is, this chloride which is acting as a nucleophile, it will go and attack to your R group. Okay, and then once it will go and attack with the cleavage of this molecule, this bond will neutralize the oxygen atom positive charge as well as it is cleaving out. It will cleave out as the silyl ether. Okay, it will cleave out as a silyl ether with the alkyl chlorides. And then again this silyl ether will react it with the TMSCl, one more molecule of TMSCl. This oxygen atom of the silyl ether will have the lone pair of electron. It will again go and bind to the silicon atom, and then it will remove one molecule. First it will go and bind, and this oxygen will gain a positive charge because it is having the 3 bonds surrounded in it, and then there is a formation of one more adduct. Okay, and then this chloride which is attached over here, again it will go and take the alkyl group with the cleavage of the silyl ethers. Okay, and then you are removing this alkyl chloride, one more molecule of alkyl chloride. You have removed all the alkyl chlorides, that is your dealkylation reaction. Yes. Then moving to the next application, that is your epoxides. How you will do the reaction with the epoxide? So you are taking this epoxide, and then if you will treat it with the TMSCl, this epoxide oxygen atom which is having the lone pair of electron will go and attack to the silicon atom of your TMSCl. Once it will go and react, at that time what happens, first step here, don't show the arrow mark for the cleavage. It is not going as a good living group. First it will form. Okay, first it will form this complex. Once it will form the complex, at that time what happens here is, once it will form the complex, at that time this bond will cleave out with the neutralization of the positive charge, and then this will generate the carbocation. Once it will generate as the carbocation, this chloride atom, which will act as a nucleophile, that will go and bind over here. Okay, once it will bind towards the carbocation, at that time you are having this oxygen which is having a lone pair of electrons, right? And then this again will go and attack to the one more molecule of your TMSCl. Once it will go and attack to your silicon atom, and then there is a removal of one chlorine atom. Chloride is getting removed as a good living group. So once it will go and remove, this oxygen will gain a positive charge, and then you will form this complex. And then after that formation of the complex, what happens here is you have to remove this silyl ether, disilyl groups, and then when you remove this ethers, and at that time what happens, this will generate the positive charge upon the carbon atom. That chloride which is present over here, Cl minus, that will go and bind to the carbocation, resulting you in the dichloride formations. Okay, and then this bond which is present between the C and CCl bond, that bond will shift with the cleavage of one more molecule of the one molecule of your chlorine atom. Okay, resulting you in the alkene substituent, resulting you in the alkene as your product. Protecting groups for alcohol. What do you mean by protecting groups? So protecting groups are nothing but it will protect some of the functional groups, okay, such as like alcohols. It can be any of the amine substituents, nitriles, or etc. Any of your functional groups it can protect. So with the help of that protecting groups, first of all, whatever the functional group which will be present, that will be reactive. Okay, with the help of the protecting group, what you will do is you will make that product as the unreactive molecule. So for that thing, you will protect only the functional group rather than the other groups which has been attached. Okay, so it will help for protecting the only of the functional groups such as alcohols, amines, thioalcohols, and terminal alkenes. So if we are saying in the alcohols and the alkynes. So if you will see in the alcohols, if you are taking the ethanol and then if you are adding the TMSCl, at that time what happens, there are certain groups like TMSCl, mom chloride, and MEM chloride, mem chloride, etc., bomb chloride, etc. Okay, that you can go through. So here if you will see, in the presence of the triethylamine, that is the amine base you are using, in the presence of the amine base you are protecting the alcohols. So you are getting silyl ethers. Okay, and then if you will move on to the alkynes, at that time what happens, in the presence of again amine base is, and then upon addition of the TMSCl, what happens here is this H will gets cleaved out by the addition of TMS, that is your trimethyl silyl group will come and attach to the alkynes group, terminal position of your alkyne, with the cleavage of one of the HCl molecule. Thank you. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment box.